Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining me today is my co-host from Santa Cruz, California, Jared Brick. Jared, always so nice to see you.
You too. Excited for today's conversation.
I know, me too. And we're excited to talk to Ashley Hineline with Topple Ad Network from Telluride, Colorado. Ashley, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today on Digital Champions.
No, thank you for having me today.
All right, so tell us all about Topple Ad Network, what you do there, and something about the clients that you serve.
So we are basically an ad network for misfits and rebels. We allow any advertisers, from those who are advertising guns to grass, everything in between. We basically have decided to create an ad network that is open without any censorship or blacklisting to the brands that can reach those publishers on our network.
Ashley, obviously they're dealing with a lot of problems. They can't get onto digital ad platforms. So that's the main pain point. What's the secondary or tertiary pain point that they're experiencing getting in front of their audiences?
There's, I guess, probably two different pain points to that secondary level. They can't reach these publishers because the publishers themselves have struggled to find a network that will allow them. Google, other large tech, big tech companies have continually kind of tightened that vice as to who gets to be at the table. And so just reaching these publishers has been a big struggle. And then many of them, when they can advertise, are so restricted in how or what they advertise that oftentimes you're not even quite sure what they're advertising. They can't show their product, say their product, have to use code words, things like that.
And are you guys creating the ads? Are you promoting the ads? Are you an intermediary between the channels? What role do you guys fill as your services?
We do not provide creative. We do have partners that we work with. So we have sort of not outsource it, but we recommend different agencies to work with. We have created, I guess you can say, we've created the phone lines. The network, it allows our advertisers and our publishers to connect and decide who they want to work with. The advertisers can say they want to work with every publisher on the network, or they can select certain verticals, and it's the exact same for our publishers. We have publishers that prefer not to work with some of the brands because of personal beliefs, or often federal law says that two of the main verticals we work with shouldn't be in the same thing together, guns and grass. So a lot of times those two brands don't interact. That's what we're doing. We're just creating the phone lines. We are not interjecting any way, shape, or form our beliefs or what we think or who they should be talking to and not talking to.
Ashley, can you walk us through an example?
Sure. Obviously, firearms are a hot button point for most other networks and platforms. So we have a lot of firearms brands that we work with. They often are thrilled when we say, yes, you can say the word firearm, you can show the firearm, and they choose to work with most of them. The run of the network. We have some new sites that are producing great results for these same brands in their ads. Unfortunately, we get to see them. So fortunately for us, the creative behind so many of these brands is fire. It's eye-catching. They're great at call to action. They know what they're doing. They just, prior to Topple, weren't able to show that they knew what they were doing.
And tell me again how it is you get that in front of that demographic.
When we got started in, I guess, almost 2 years ago right now, we got started officially. We went out to publishers that were either completely demonetized or were struggling to monetize and said, hey, here's what we're building. This is a network. So we sold it as this is similar to Google AdSense. You just let us put our code on your page, and have just been collecting new publishers ever since. The original goal was for us to reach about 300,000 impressions our first year, I believe. we blew it out of the water with just over 1 billion impressions because we've added so many publishers that are sick of getting dinged for the wrong article, the wrong idea. So that part, it's been, the word easy is not appropriate, but it's been something that people are excited to know that there's another option for them as far as monetizing their site. So we've built up this great audience for so many brands, and this audience, they're multidimensional. They buy cars, they get credit cards, they go on vacations. I know I've mentioned these fringe or those that struggle the most to advertise, but it's completely agnostic. Brands have done very well on the network as well.
And Ashley, is there a couple of platforms or channels you can mention to us, things that people might not realize are open channels?
For us, as far as other platforms, there's not another platform that operates like we are. But if you perhaps mean the publishers we work with, I want to make sure I answer your right question, Jared.
Yeah, sure.
There are conservative news sites that have struggled that we work with. One that we've seen great results from, and oftentimes, they're not. There's no bells and whistles to American Thinker. That's a site that plenty of people like to. Their traffic is amazing. The site itself is very straightforward. Again, like I said, nothing too fancy about it. We've seen great results from all brands. The audience that is visiting that site are definitely not used to seeing quality ads. Prior, many of these publishers have been dealing with the belly fat and the toe fungus ads of the world. So the audiences often are very interactive with the ads. Some firearm sites that definitely had quite a splash when they completely got deplatformed by their host was AR15.com. It is a gun forum site, but they have a great traffic. And yes, the people are there to learn more about firearms and all of that. But they're also those same people I mentioned before that they need cars, they need trucks, they need insurance. And we've seen great results from campaigns run across sites just like that.
Well, Ashley, we're going to need to leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and tell us all about this kind of another side of the digital marketing that doesn't really get discussed so much. So thanks for shedding some light on that today.
Thank you.
And Jared, wonderful to have you on board, sir.
You too. Thanks, Ashley. That was really enlightening. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys too.
All right, if you'd like to learn more about Topple Ad Network, you can start by checking them out on dailyadbrief.com. I'm your host in Jacksonville, Florida, Charlene Shirk. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.